Well, it's the 1st of March. March is already here and February's gone for the year. And it's amazing to think that in 17 days it'll be St. Patrick's Day, and in 20 days it'll be the first day of spring. Well, it's an absolutely beautiful day out here. We're out here just trying to mess around in the yard and see what we can get done and get ready for spring. Getting the garden and stuff ready because it'll be time to sow before we know it. We had a visitor in our garden or in our yard again. We caught him in the cage. He's in a cage. Yeah. That's where the food was at that tempted him into the cage. He's not being very responsive. He's playing dead. Yeah, and he's acting like he doesn't even know we're here, but of course he's probably afraid.
He's shy.
Yeah, this is a big possum.
We think it's a male.
Yeah, we do think it's a male. The kids are really fascinated by it. This is like the 3rd possum we've found.
Yeah.
What is that, Ellie?
Rabies is like a thing that you catch from wild animals.
Oh, thank goodness that possums do not carry rabies.
Or diseases. Because that would be very
That's the music we hear in our neighborhood. Can you believe anybody would listen to music that loud? Well, this is a little dilemma. We've caught several of these, and what we do with them is we just relocate them to people that's got a lot of land. We don't want to kill a possum because
because they eat ticks and
that's right, they eat ticks, and they're not any kind of nuisance that causes too much trouble. But as you can see on a little micro farm like we've got, a little bitty homestead that only has about 1/4 of an acre, that possum could cause a lot of problems. Right here is eggs. We're finally starting to get eggs now that the sun is shining more, and we think that possum has been eating our eggs. Donald did find a possum in here just eating along with the chickens. In our laying boxes, I had some artificial eggs. Well, that egg is already gone out of there. I used to have marble eggs in here that kind of coaches the chickens on where to lay. You know, they go in each one of their laying boxes. We hadn't had eggs for a while. But now they're starting to lay again, so I've got to put some more shavings and some things. Here's one of them. See, it's dirty because something had carried it out of this laying box. This is a marble egg that stays. I had one in each one of these boxes. They're all gone. We wondered where they went. I thought maybe the kids had got them out and had messed around with them, but they hadn't. They said they hadn't touched it. I think that possum got in there thinking those were real eggs, and he carried them into the enclosure or carried them out, however he was getting in. But anyway, he can't stay here. He's a nuisance here. So Donald's just going to take him to his mom's and let him out. We've asked people, and they said it was fine to let him out there where they live. And that's what we've been doing. We've been relocating those possums. And of course, that's the legal way to do it. Madeline's on her swing. We've got to get on the way. Get this garden cleaned out. While I come in a little bit, I'm going to have a cup of tea. We had brunch, kind of lunch and breakfast together. And we had eggs and toast and, drinks. And I'm going to go ahead and fix a cup of tea this morning. This is my cup. It says, "Lucky to be your Nomi." Got this cup at TJ Maxx or maybe Home Goods. One of the two. They sell about the same thing. And I'm going to make a cup of holiday tea today. I really like this tea. It's been a good tea. Taste of it is so good. I'm going to go ahead and have that this morning. Or this, well, actually, look at it. It's 1:43. It's afternoon. It got here before I realized it. This day is flying by. This is the chocolate rose tea, and that chocolate tea is so good. So I'm having that this morning. Looks delicious, smells delicious. Come in here, got the teapot going. Donald had coffee this morning. I'm going to use this little Sarah's Bee Farm, Tobacco, North Carolina raw honey. Got this at the farmer's market. My friend gave us a little bit of honey, and it was the best honey that I've had. And I hadn't been drinking too much of honey or anything in my tea. But if I'm drinking early and I've got a lot that I can do to burn off the, the calories from and the sugar that's in the honey, then I will. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my cup this morning. The tea's ready. I got anxious and went ahead and poured the water in. If you watch my channel, I try to find beauty or, just lovely things in nature. And this basket of onions this morning, I thought they were so lovely. When I was in here, I was thinking, wow, that's just beautiful to me. I enjoy that. I've been going through some of my pottery and some of the things that I have, so I've got some stuff pulled out that I don't normally have sitting over here. If you ever want a fun thing to do that's kind of inexpensive, kids love to play with things like dried rice. A lot of times they'll play kitchen like they're mixing a meal, and a lot of times they'll just play with their little toys.
Hey. Yeah. Fresh.
Makes a little bit of a mess, but not too much. Nothing a vacuum cleaner or something can't whiz up right real quick, right?
Oh, bury my hand. Everyone stay still. Okay.
What's up, Gravy? I think
That is so funny. Did you hear what she called him, Horty?
Horty!
Yeah.
That's an actual elephant. Horty is an elephant. They didn't move out of the way. No, stop. Yay! Yeah!
I shared with you how I moved the plant shelf out from in front of this window, and I cleaned out this pantry closet right here. That's right here in the dining area. Over here, I've shared that picture with you there of the Lord's Supper, and told you how most Appalachians have a picture of the Lord's Supper in their house. And over here, is the china cabinet and the table, which is full of glass stuff while I'm going through all of this. But just to give you an idea where this is at. And this closet I cleaned out. Well, this was all of the storage food that I pulled out because I wanted to be able to get to it easier so that we could go ahead and work through it. I don't want to have old food here. I want to go through the food that is the oldest first, and so I've got quite a bit here. Well, I can't let it just sit there on the floor. That looks kind of rough. So my solution is to come in here into the kids' room. I bought another tote from Sam's. These totes are roughly, they're like $8.98. They were $7 something, but I have saw people carrying these things out left and right. They're the 27-gallon totes. And they're made in the USA. So I bought another one. You see I have a few of them right here. That I keep clothes in and other things that, you know, I have 6 grandchildren, 3 boys and 3 girls. And sometimes the older kids will pass down something to the younger kids. And then I have play clothes that I keep here also. So this is kind of like a little storage corner, storage area of the playroom. Now I was going to get rid of this cat tower because Cookie never really used it. And at the minute I decided that I was going to get rid of it, he starts using it. So it's still here. But this is the playroom. This is where they hang out and sleep over. You know, here's all the blankets. I've told you before, our kids love blankets and pillows and all the things. But this storage tote has been the solution for me. That's where I'm going to put all of these groceries, all of these food items that I don't have a place to put right now. I'm going to put them here where I have easy access to them, where I can go ahead and pull the oldest out first. Now these beans I've got from Sam's. I did a challenge where you just stock your pantry, maybe just buy little things to stock your pantry for $10 or under. And so this was one of those buys. So I have some extra beans, but you can't go wrong with it because we love them. It's not an ideal solution, but I got all of those spaghetti noodles, all that pasta, and those soup or pinto beans. I've got all of those in here. So it's a temporary solution for me right now. I think it'll work for us right now in storing some storage, even though we have a small pantry and we've got a bigger pantry downstairs that we store our home canned goods. For right now, this is like the best solution for me until I get some other stuff gone through and cleared out. And it's a cost-effective solution. I mean, this is the kids' playroom. It's not like me and Donald use this room if we're not in here. I mean, if the kids are not here, because this is where their TV is. And it used to be my daughter's room. Well, in the beginning, when we first moved to this house, it was our son's room. We had bunk beds over here where all this storage stuff is right now. And that's where the little kiddos were. And the new baby, Jody, when she was born, went into the smaller bedroom over on across the hall. So we got somebody enjoying their cat tower. I guess I don't need to get rid of it if he's going to start using it. But anyway, today what I'm doing is just doing the best I can with what I have to get some storage solutions as I slowly move some things out. Now, I've shared with you before this little area right here, and I really love this little area. I love that print, and I've shared with you how friends of mine, we went to on a shopping trip and went to some antique stores and places, and I found this print for $20. It's huge. This is a big print of the Lord's Supper, and I love the old frame, and I love the old print. And so it came home with me, and I couldn't have been more delighted. Now, I've been thinking about changing this dining room decor over to apple picking because, you know, that's my family's history. They picked apples in orchards on my mother's side, and those orchards and all that stuff, I just love it. I just love to see it, and I love to incorporate it. Now, I've got a stack of all the art that I have. You probably see this when I put it in my living room sometimes. And I've just got some that I like and that I've used in the past. And I keep them right here. Of course, I've got to go through them and get out of it. I love this print. That's a beautiful columbine plant. And I'm going to hang that somewhere. Don't know where yet, but I really like it. This is the print that I'm thinking about replacing the Lord's Supper print with. And I don't know if you can see it, but it is people picking apples. Now, This is not from the same year, you know, where my mom and my family picked the apples. See if I can get a better shot of this print for you. And it also is huge. This is a big print. It's probably about at least 3 feet long and 2.5 feet wide, so it's big. I've got some little prints, and then I've got these green tomato prints. Now, I thought that was cute. I just liked it. It's a pretty good size, too. I thought that would be a wonderful summer print. I love art, and I love prints, and I've got a collection. Now, I just recently, not long ago, maybe last year, cleared out all my prints and donated a lot of them and gave some away to my friends. And there was some that quite had some monetary value in there. And so I just cannot house a bunch of prints, even though you know I love art dearly. And I love big pictures. I am not a minimalist when it comes to my house. I have a lot of big pictures that fill the walls. Here is the other corner. Let the light adjust for a minute. And of course, there's things that's stored here, and things that I have to go through and decide what I'm going to keep and what I'm not going to keep. This is mostly kitchen stuff right here. And I have all this, but you can see no small prints, big prints. My sister bought me this. I do have a few small things right here over the entryway that goes into the kitchen. There's the front door and the little angel painting I shared with you before. That's a big print. I bought Donald either for his birthday or for Father's Day. And it's a beautiful wooded scene that's got deer in there. This is the gallery wall of our Sweet Baby Kisses. And I've got, my daughter-in-law has a little print of her little baby, our youngest grandchild, and he's got little kisses all over his face. She put lipstick on and put little kisses all over him. And I have definitely got to get that printed out and put it on our Sweet Baby Kisses wall. These are all of our babies. These are my 3 kids. I've probably shared this with you, and I'll share it with you again. That's my children, my oldest son, Holden, our youngest baby, Jody, and then Dustin. He's looking at all of it. And then, you know, as the babies were born, that's Jody and her cousin playing dress up. I just thought it was the sweetest picture. And we've got all the sweet grandbabies, and here is Madeline when she was born. And it's the same over here. On this wall, we've got all the sweet little babies and all of them coming home. And even behind here is our baby Prince. Now in the playroom, I've got that poster of apples, and it says partners. And I love that big old print of those green apples. I just think that's beautiful and fitting for in here. It's uplifting. It's a nice print. And then if you go over, there's wind chimes in here because those are the wind chimes that my dad bought for me. So I keep them in here. And then there's a Raggedy Ann picture of her sitting in a chair. And then we've got the little butterflies. And out in the hall, there's the mate to that other print that I showed you in the dining area. The bookshelves and things that are here in the living room. But I'm showing you the pictures, and I've shared with you that these paintings that I love. That's a painting right there, a watercolor painting of wildflowers. Absolutely love it. That's Bible pictures from the Bible that are on a log. Those are popular in the Appalachian Mountains. They're sold as souvenir pieces, but we grew up with them. Those were my grandma's, and so they hang here. And then here on this mantle that's over the couch is this huge watercolor painting by a famous artist. And I can't think of his name right off, but it's got the gallery stamp on the back, so that's a real work of art. And of course it's got Daddy and Mama, me and Donald, Dustin and Megan, one of my sons. And it's just got the pictures of my family when they were getting married. And anyway, just making a point that I am not a minimalist, that I like gallery walls and I like big pictures. So I don't like anything real tiny. I don't like a lot of space, although a lot of people love that. That's not my decorating style. A lot of space does not comfort me. I just like to see that space filled up, and I'm not sure why I'm like that, but that's the way it is. Now, I've shared with you that I've worked with a decorator before, and so I've picked up some skills. I've always loved to decorate, and, I do have some decorating skills. I used to use my house as my canvas, and I would artistically always move things, change things, and decorate because it was a way of expressing creativity in my space. It didn't cost any money to go ahead and decorate with what I had and to rearrange. And then, I've always looked out for good deals. I've always found things at good deals that I loved and wanted to live with. And of course, when you live in a place for a long time, you'll want to make changes occasionally. And I am in the process now of clearing through some things that I don't like as much and trying to figure out where to put a library. I would love to have a library wall somewhere other than what I have here over the TV. Now here's all of my books, and I've got to find a place for them. There's about 3 stacks of them there that need to go into a library. I've thinned out this plant. If you remember, there was a huge plant that was right here. And I found that plant a new home. And so, slowly working on all of it to get it all together. Because there's a lot going on in this house. I love my family. And I have a lot of family over. I entertain quite a bit. And there's always something going on. And the people that love me like I am. And I tell them just come on over. And sometimes the place is a mess. But they love me anyway, and I'm thankful for that. Now, this bookshelf that I have behind the TV, and my husband, he built that bookshelf because it was just open right there. And, I've shared with you before, there's a pretty good space. There was this little half wall that was here, right here. You can see how loved this little section is, but when you see the steps, you can see how big of a fall that would have been for a little kid. If you see right there, then you see that Donald's solution was to build these bookshelves, and I didn't complain because I love books. So you see the backs of the books on this side, and then the front of the books on the other side. And these are books that I've had for quite a while. And I don't really want to let go of them. I love to refer back to them. I enjoy the knowledge in them, and I prefer older books. So I've got a lot of them up there. I do not have easy access to those books because the TV is there. And I can't just walk up and pull out a book. I really have to scoot stuff out and reach around. And these I can get to pretty easily. I need a ladder to get to those. And they're dusty. I need to clean them. But as you can see, they're not real easy to get to. And I have shared with you that if it's not easily accessible, then you won't use it. And, as you age in a place, you want to clear out things that can be hazards. I've got 6 grandchildren that come and stay. Our house is well loved. I was joking. I went to the thrift store. I've got a favorite thrift store that I love to go to. It benefits the food bank, and so when you shop there, you're helping people to get food. And so I love to shop there if I can. If I'm looking for anything on my list, I'll go there first and see if I can find it. And I have friends that are there, and I love all of them. I love their faces. I love their hearts. I love to talk to them. But I was joking with one of the workers in there, and he was saying he was showing me a chair cover, and I said, yeah, but you'd have to have a chair that fit it. And so I tossed it on the shelf. And he said, that doesn't go there. It goes in a different place. And he said, it's just like home. It's got its place. And I said, well, I've got 6 grandchildren. So nothing I put down really stays in one place for very long. And he got tickled because he said, well, I guess that's true. So, a lived-in house is going to, if you really live in it, especially a small house that you've been in for a long time, it's going to have challenges. My oldest son picks at me and says, Mom, the house is not going to grow. You've got to change out and get rid of some things. And he's right. The house is not going to grow. I have to work with the space that I have because there's not even enough yard here to build on very much. And Donald and I were talking, we don't want a huge house because, we're grandparents. I mean, we only need so much, right? So we just have to clean out. And so I'm slowly trying to do that as I go through and decide, well, what do I need right now at this stage of my life? And it's not a lot. It's not as much as you would think. I mean, you get down to this age and you realize, well, I've saved it for 20 years and I haven't needed it. It's probably all right to get rid of it. But, the minute you get rid of it, you need it. That is a proven fact. The minute I have got rid of stuff, I have needed it, or somebody has said, do you have one of those? I think you said you had one of those. And I said, I did have one of those, but I've been clearing out and now I don't. So, it's a double-edged sword. You've got to clear out, and that's just all there is to it. So I'm in a good stage and a good place where I want to do that. I want to get rid of a lot of stuff. My books are not one of them. My books, I'm not going to get rid of. So, I'm just going to have to figure out a way to live with them because I read them. I enjoy them. They bring me joy. And that's something that I want, even though they really do take up a lot of space. It's something I want to refer back to on a cold, rainy day. If the power goes out, I don't have to worry because I've got entertainment. I am a book reader, and I have loved to read ever since I've learned to read. Once I learned to read, there was no limits for me. I would read the back of the toilet paper package. I would read the back of the soap detergent boxes. I would read everything that was set before me. I would read, and I'm still like that. I still like to read, and I still learn a lot from reading. And I love to read the directions. If you've watched my channel, I always encourage everybody to read directions because there's a lot of information on there. It tells you where that product comes from. It tells you all about that product. Sometimes nutritional value, directions on how to use things. And it really helps you use that product the way it is designed to be used if you read the directions. And you'd be surprised how many people do not read the directions. They watch a commercial and they see a woman just fill that cup up and put it in her washing machine, and then you just think, well, that's how much I need. And there's like 6 different levels of markings on that measuring cup. And if you're washing a small load, you just need a small amount. You don't need a whole big cup. And there's a lot of waste that goes on because people don't read the directions and they don't know what they're doing. But I love to share what I know sometimes. Sometimes it's just simple things. Get it out there, and it answers a lot of questions. So I love to read. I love to have the knowledge, and I like to know, what I'm doing with whatever I'm using. I try to research it as much as I can so that I know about it. And some life experiences, I've learned a lot. But my books, I probably am not going to get rid of those, but I am in the process of trying to just clear out and get rid of a lot. Now, I do miss some of my plants. I kept them for a long time, but I don't have room for them. And I realize that. And as they grow and get bigger every year, I've really run out of room for them. So I've let a lot of plants go. I'm going to stick to small plants if I can. That kind of fits the space. Although this one right here is becoming challenging. But it is beautiful. And it just drapes over the side of this desk. And you may have saw I shared how to plant this one on a video. It's planted in a teapot And it's just a really pretty plant. And I've got these few over here that for some reason I just felt attached to and couldn't quite let them go. My daughter, of course, gives me a few, and my cat likes to chew on some of the leaves. That's why I try not get plants that are too toxic, you know. He just chews on a certain kind. He really loves the philodendron for some reason. He has chewed almost every one I've got. But then, you know, I've let go of a lot of plants. I would probably say I have given away over 30 some plants. So that was a lot. But this one's pretty. It has a pretty pink bloom that comes out of it. This side has already bloomed. And they say that once the plant blooms, it will die in 4 months. Well, this one I've had for about 2 years. It didn't die. Here's its baby that it grew on the side of it. And you can tell from the back side down here, this is the original flower. And of course it was standing up straight and it was in a pot. And this is its pup. This is its baby that it had. And here it is, just filling up the space right here. But it's okay. If you've watched my channel before, you know I love things that drip. I love vines, and I love things that hang down and hang over. That just delights me. So I have that. And I'm just working with it here. I'm just trying to figure out what I can and am not going to keep. And of course, I will decide what I want to decorate with once I decide what I'm going to keep. So that's the process that I'm going through. And getting rid of some things. And it's kind of, you have to kind of tear the place down to build it back the way that you want it when you're going through it. When it's a process, it's not something you can do in one day. It's been quite a process, but it's okay. I'll get to the end of it here in a while. I'll get to the end of the tunnel. But I am never going to change my personality. I am a maximalist. I like it. You know, if you ever saw the art teacher that had 50 bracelets on her arm, and you think, well, you know, is 1 or 2 bracelets not enough? Well, not for her. I had an art teacher that was just like that. She was just as slim as she could be. She had long curly hair, and she wore a lot of bracelets. In fact, as one of the art teachers that made one of the biggest impressions on me when it came to pursuing art. She helped me understand and just really enjoy art. And I've tried to do that for my children. I love my children. I tried to encourage art in them when they were growing up, and I see them doing that in their children. And I love that. I love that there's an artistic vein that's in our family. I just love it so much. But this is part of an artistic expression. Your home, you know, some people it's just a place to flop. They don't care what's in it. They don't care if it's just a chair. They don't care if it's just the basic needs. I will never be that way. I will always want things hanging up. If I couldn't have things hanging up, I would be outside finding wild things, bringing it in, and making a way. That's just my personality. Call it what you want. You know, people are different. Not everybody wants to live in empty spaces. Not everybody wants to live in spare spaces. Some people like things, and I'm one of them. Well, I thought I'd share that with you today, how I stored that food and what's going on with the going through things and the downsizing a little bit. I would say it's kind of downsizing, getting rid of some things, making some space, and moving on. Now, thank you for joining me today, and let me share the Saturday with you. I hope you have a great day. I'm going to go in here and get my tea and enjoy it. And like always, until next time.